Good morning, champions, and happy Wednesday. Today we are going to dive right into multiplying 4 by two-digit numbers. You're going to do an awesome job with this video. I know it, and so does the smiley face guy. Let's get started. We'll start by looking at our do now. Look at number 3 on your do now. Select the two choices that are equivalent to 2 times 10 plus 3 times 1 plus 5 times 1/10 plus 4 times 1 over 100. Well, in this number, 2 is in the tens place, 3 is in the ones place, 5 is in the tenths place, and 4 is in the hundredths place. So the answer is A. And when I look at that number, I see 23 and 54 hundredths. If you picked A and D, you selected the correct answers. Now let's look at number 4. Kai earned 2 and 52 hundredths points from her first AR book and 3 and 6/10 from her second. How many more points has she earned from her second book than her first? What is this problem asking us to do? It's asking us to subtract because we are comparing. We're finding how much bigger one is than the other. Now go ahead and answer the question. What is 3 and 6/10 minus 2 and 52 hundredths? Well, when I subtract, I would have to borrow from my 6. 10 minus 2 is 8, 5 minus 5 is 0, and 3 minus 2 is 1. The answer is 1 and 8/10 more points. Let's look at the next two questions on your do now. 30 times 600. What's 30 times 600? Well, 6 times 3 is 18 with 3 zeros. The answer is 18,000. 700 times 400. What's 700 times 400? Well, 7 times 4 is 28 with 4 zeros. Now let's move on to the next page and start our content for today. You should be on page 2. The trip from New Orleans to Seattle, Washington is 5,592 miles round trip. Last year, Miss Johnson traveled to Seattle 14 times. How many miles did Miss Johnson travel going to Seattle? What is this problem asking us to do, and how do you know? What operation would we use to solve this problem? We would multiply 5,592 times 14 because we would have to add up that distance 14 times. Let's find a reasonable estimate of the distance Miss Johnson traveled. Well, to find a reasonable estimate first, which number is really close to 5,592 that I could use to estimate? 6,000 is very close to that number. What number is really close to 14 that I could use to estimate? 10 is really close to 14. Now I can multiply 6,000 times 10. What's 6,000 times 10? Well, 6 times 1 is 6 with 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is about 60,000 miles. Now, what is the actual distance Miss Johnson traveled? Now I'm going to do my real multiplication problem. 5,592 times 14. Just like my previous days, I'm going to separate this into two separate problems. First, I'm going to multiply 4 times that large number. Then I'm going to multiply 10. Let's get started. What multiplication fact would I need to do first? I would need to multiply 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is what? It's 8. What multiplication fact would I need to do next? I would need to multiply 4 times 9. What's 4 times 9? 4 times 9 is 36. Carry my 3. What multiplication fact would I need to do next? I would need to multiply 4 times 5 and then add 3. What's 4 times 5? And then add 3. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 more is 23. I'd carry my 2. What multiplication fact should I do next? I should multiply 4 times 5 again, because I have to multiply 4 times my entire number. So multiply 4 times 5 and then add 2. What do you get? 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 more is 22. Okay, now I'm finished with my 4. I'm going to cross out all of those numbers and multiply by 10. What should I do before I start multiplying? I need to drop a 0 in the ones place because I'm multiplying in the tens place. What multiplication fact should I do now? 1 times 2 is 2. What multiplication fact should I do next? 1 times 9 is 9. What multiplication fact should I do next? 1 times 5 is 5. What multiplication fact should I do next? 1 times 5, again, is 5. Now I've multiplied my 10 times each digit of 5,592. What's my last step? My last step is to add my two partial products. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8. And 2 plus 5 is 7. 78,288 miles. Just like when I multiplied by a two-digit number before, we're going to use the distributive property. And we're going to start by multiplying by the digit in the ones place. Then we'll drop a 0 to multiply in the tens place. And then we'll multiply by the digit in the tens place. Let's do one more problem together, and then you'll get a chance to practice too and see if you were correct. Multiply 1,372 times 23. Remember, I'm going to break that 23 up into 3 and 20. I want you to tell me what happens when I multiply 1,372 times 3. How would I fill in these blanks right underneath the problem? Well, let's get started. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. I'd carry my 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 more is 11. Carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. Now I'm done with my 3. I can cross it out. Now I need to multiply 20 times 1,372. Tell me what would go in the blanks on this line. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, but I can't start multiplying yet. I've got to drop my 0 because 2 is in the tens place. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. And 2 times 1 is 2. Now, I can add my partial products to find my final answer. What goes in these blanks? What is our final answer? Well, 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 4 is 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. 4 plus 7 is 11. And 1 plus 2 is 3. My final answer is 31,556. Now you try one. What's 5,364 times 82? Find the final answer after showing all of your work. Let's get started. I'm going to start by multiplying 2 times 5,364. Then I can multiply 80 times 5,364. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 6 is 12, carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. And 2 times 5 is 10. Now I'm done with my 2, so I can cross out the 1, drop my 0. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 3 is 51. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 5 is 29. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 2 more is 42. Now I can add 8, 4, 8, 9, 3, 4. My answer is 439,848. You did a great job on this video. There are 2 more practice problems on this page and then several on the back. If you've finished the video, start working silently on your practice problems. I know you can do it. Have a great day, champions.